Hi, welcome to Joanna's DIY Life. On this channel, I love to sew and do home decor on a budget. Today we're going to be working on these 3 beautiful fall DIYs. Now let's get crafty. Okay, so I have these 2 hanging baskets from the Dollar Tree I got back in the spring. And I'm going to remove the hanging part with the clips. I was going to cut it, but I decided not to. And I'm going to be saving one. Well, I'm saving both of them, but I'm going to use one on the project. So when I get them removed, I'm going to take wire cutters and cut these off. Well, I'm not going to because I have carpal tunnel, but my husband is going to do this for me. So then I'm going to spray paint them with this orange Rust-Oleum rustic spray paint. Okay, they're spray painted and it broke, but that's okay, no big deal. So I have the splatter screen and moss, both from the Dollar Tree as well. And I want the splatter screen because I'm going to be putting it in the bottom. And y'all, this seriously came out so easy, like it wasn't much to pull it out. So I wouldn't recommend using these, but that's just my opinion. So now I'm just going to take and lay this down because I don't want the whole width of this showing. So I'm just going to take a Sharpie and I'm just going to draw around. And the circle does not have to be perfect, y'all. It's not going to be seen really. I just want this in there to hold my my moss or whatever you call it in there. So when it rains, it doesn't wash it out. You know, it's got something stable to hold it to. So I'm just going to take a pair of scissors. Y'all don't need a good pair of scissors because it will sure enough ruin them. So just get a junky old pair of scissors and cut out your circle. Now y'all can't see the line, but I can, so that's all that matters, I guess. So I'm just going to cut it out, and then I'm going to take my glue gun, and no, it sticks because I hold it upside down, but I don't know. It didn't feel good to me, but it'll hold it for, you know, the time. See, I'll flip it upside down here in a minute, and it'll hold it to get my moss in there. My moss will stick to the wire when I glue it because I'm going to put a butt ton of sloppy glue. This isn't a whole bag of moss, y'all. It was just what I had left in this bag. So I'm just going to spread it around in there. Then I'm going to lift it up, and I'm just going to put a butt ton of glue on there and push it down. Y'all be careful you don't burn yourself between the moss. And I think that's what I did. Then I had to check my watch. But anyway, this moss is so, I hate it. It leaves a mess. And y'all have heard me say that before. I hate using moss. I mean, it's good in projects, but I hate it because of the messy factor. But anyway, once I get that glued in, I have got lamb's ear from Walmart. And I have some white sunflowers from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to use my clippy, snippy things, as my grandson calls them, my little mini wire cutters, and I'm going to snip some off. Now, I will have to shorten these because it, you know, they'll stick up. I want one in the middle sticking up above the rest, so I'm going to cut these off short. I'm not gluing anything at first until I arrange things and see what I got going on. I don't glue until I know what I'm doing. So I'm just going to arrange them in here. Then when I get them right, I'm going to start gluing them down, and then I'm going to add my lamb's ear. So as you can see, I just added the lamb's ear until it looked good to me and filled in empty spaces. Now I'm just going to take the top and I'm going to put it on. And I am going to use little clear zip ties, okay? And I'm going to clip it where it's broken so that I know it doesn't come apart any worse. But I'm just going to take my zip ties and I'm going to tie them on around the, just top and the bottom of the little baskets. Y'all get it together here in a minute. And you can paint these. You cannot put these on before you put the flowers in, however, unless you're willing to put your hands in there, in and out, which I didn't want to do. But it's going to be hanging on my porch, and I'm a little ways from the road, so it doesn't matter. But if you want to paint your zip ties and you can match it, go for it. That's up to you. But all I'm going to do is put my zip ties on, and then I'll clip all my ends of my zip ties off, and then I'll have my basket together. Okay, I turned all my zip ties in so they wouldn't be poking out. And I have these 2 birch wood pieces that I got at Hobby Lobby, I think, last year. But I didn't have anything really to secure it to because the hole in these baskets were so big. So I'm just taking this floral wire. You can get floral wire at the Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, anywhere. And I'm just going to wrap it around and around just to fill in that middle some to have, just an anchor so that the little round wood disc or wood slice, whatever you want to call it, doesn't fall through my hole. Then I'm going to wrap that end after I cut it and secure it around my wired basket. Now my wood has something to sit on. So I'm going to use a combination of E6000 and hot glue to, put these, oh good Lord, wood slices down there. I'm having a day. Y'all just forgive me. So after that got on there, I'm taking this little spatula thing and I'm just going to push it to make sure that it gets stuck. Now all I'm going to do is hot glue this other piece of wood to this one, and there is my pumpkin stem. Easy peasy. Pumpkin easy. Anyway, now all I have to do is get those little glue strip string things out of there and then just clip this. Try to get it even. I don't know which ones they came off of, but I'm trying to get them even and put them on these, back on here so it'll hang up straight. And then once you get that done, you have your little pumpkin planter hanger. Easy as that. Okay, now I have one of these cute little metal envelopes from the Dollar Tree, and I am just going to vamp it up a little because you gotta do that, or I have to do that. So I'm going to struggle here just a minute trying to get this knot out because I'm trying to save this jute twine. But the pink tool to the rescue. So I'm taking the knot out, and then I'm going to remove those little wooden beads because I want to save those. And I'm going to put them back on eventually, but to be honest with you, I set them over there and forgot, and you'll see in a little while. But I get them on and fix the situation. But anyway, I'm going to give this a coat of chalk paint, which I didn't need because it didn't work with the flowers that I was putting on. So you'll see me paint it and then cover it. So I've got these flowers, and this is why it matches too much. It blends in. So I've got this paper that I printed last year, and it was in my scraps. And I'm just going to put it on here and trace this out, and then I'm going to cut out my paper. Then I'm going to use my stick glue and glue this paper down, and then we'll go from there. So I want this paper to tuck inside of there. That's why I cut it down like I did. And it doesn't matter that that one part's showing because we're going to fill it in with flowers, so it won't be seen anyway. So I'm just going to use my scraper and make sure that my paper's down flat and there are no bubbles, which there usually isn't when you use stick glue, but you know, you never know. And then I'm going to use my pink pokey tool to poke my hole, and I'm just going to poke it in and waller it out. And that's going to make it the size that it needs to be. And then I'm going to rub my paper down to push it to the inside. Now I'm going to take my little finger sander and I'm going to sand off any extra paper that's hanging off the top and get that out of my way. Now you want to make sure this is dry before you do this because I am smearing my glue everywhere. So now that I have it done and it's all off, well, most of it anyway, it'll annoy me for just a minute and then I'll put it down, I promise. Anyway, I have got these rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree, and they have them this year. These are from last year, but I've seen them this year. And I'm just going to use a couple of the rub-on transfers to decorate the front of this before I start adding my flowers to it. So I'm just going to cut out the ones that I want. I'm going to cut out the Hello Fall, and then I'm going to cut out a few leaves, and I'm just going to use my pink tool to start rubbing them down to do my transfer. This is my preferred tool to do these, and I'm sure you've seen me do this before. So here they are on there, and it's so cute. Now I am going to take that floral foam and I'm going to cut it down into smaller pieces because I want something to put my flowers in. And the flowers came from the Dollar Tree. I loved them, and there was only 2 of them. I wish I could have found more, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm going to use these 2 in this envelope. So I am trying to figure out how to cram this in there. I'm slicing it. You see me slicing it? But anyways, I do that, and then that shows me where I got to cut it down at least. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out and cut it down to fit down in here, okay? Now that I have it in there and got my mess cleaned up, it gives me something to poke my flowers in. And I can glue them down in there if I want them to be in there. But if I want to change my flowers out, then of course you don't glue them, you just poke them. So I'm going to arrange my flowers in there the way I want them and try to get them, you know, even. I didn't realize that I had one at the top up there where it was, but anyways, I used my other bunch. I probably wouldn't have had to if I'd have realized those 2 were at the top of my thing up there. But it's okay. I can use them later. So I'm just going to... These I have to glue because they're falling off. These are the ricketiest little flowers. They're not stable. So anyways, I'm gluing these together. And then I'm going to poke them down in here. And just get my wheat in later. And then I end up pulling that out. Taking that leaf off, and of course my flower came off again, so I have to glue that one down too. But anyways, I'll poke these back down in there, and then I'll use the leaf to just stick in the front because I didn't like the way it was poking out. It didn't look right to me. It would, you know, it looks better to me being glued down the way I glued it. So that's just me. You do you, okay? So I'm just going to arrange my flowers in here and my wheat, and then glue my green thing back to the front like that right there. And then I'll go from there. Okay, I got that the way I want it, and now I am going to take the jute string hanger that went in it, and I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to put it back through here. Now, y'all, I'll just be honest with you, I forgot how I took it out, I forgot how it was, and I, honest to God, forgot the beads sitting over there. So, I strung it through, I tied a knot in it, okay? And then I pulled it so that it would hang. It's going to hang, okay? And then I clipped that extra string off. All right, so we're just going to leave it at that for now. I'll get my ball beads, whatever they are, in a minute and show you what I've done. But that's that. The string is on there. Okay? There you go. All right, now I thought that it needed a little jute bow in the front. So I'm just going to shoestring tie, or however you do it, a little bitty bow to glue on the front of this. And then I am going to just glue it to the front at the top, and I'm going to cut the strings, the tails, so that you can see the wording. I don't want to cover up anything that I did, okay? So I'm just going to take this and glue it to the leaf that I glued in there and to the metal envelope at the bottom. And it'll stick right there just fine. And then I will put those beads on there. And when I looked up and seen them, I thought, what in the world am I going to do now? I done put this on. I didn't. So I'm just going to pinch the string like I run it through the hole. And I am going to, now I have to take it apart and twist it, but I'm going to run it through the beads. I'm going to do the white, the brown, and then the white. Then to keep them from falling off, I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue on that top bead. And there you go. It's done. So these are coasters that I got at the Dollar Tree. And this one is chipped. It wasn't like that when I bought it, but we're just going to go with it, okay? And I'm going to give them 2 coats of chalk paint. Now, I put this in here because I don't know if you can tell. Look, this thing is not coated, okay? It is just soaking up this paint. It really is dry. So it does need 3 coats, not 2. Just wanted to correct myself because it is like soaking in this like crazy. So you're going to need 3 coats to cover these. Now I am going to tell you, I'm going to leave this in here. I made a boo-boo. Okay, I painted these and I dried them with my heat gun. Okay, so I assumed they were dry. So I'm going to cut out the pumpkins that I originally wanted to be this one and another one. And I'm going to cut it out and I'm going to put it on, okay? Or I think I'm going to put it on. What happens is when I stick this transfer on here, I do rub it down, okay? I didn't do the second one because when I did the first one, I realized that my paint was not really good and dry. So what it done was it rubbed down, it transferred, but when I pulled it up, the transfer adhered to the paint which came off of the coaster. So you really have to leave these overnight. The heat gun did not work. So this is what they done after leaving them overnight. And they transferred great, didn't have a bit of problem. But because they're so chalky and powdery and all that to begin with, I'm just going to take dishwasher safe Mod Podge and I'm going to give them a good coat of Mod Podge. And that's going to seal them so you can actually use them as coasters. And I think they turned out absolutely gorgeous. I have got to make some more. I absolutely love these. So this is all of my projects that I did in this video. I am in love with those coasters, y'all. I love them. They are so elegant looking. Well, except for the chips in the one. But, you know, nobody's perfect. Nothing's perfect. But anyways, those are my favorite. And then, you know, I absolutely love this thing. I love those flowers. It came out so stinking cute. And then that's going on my porch. I love it as well. but I do really think that the coasters are my favorite. Let me know what your favorite was. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel, and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. With all that being said, remember, you are a blessing. Goodbye.